How do you define Black joy?
How do you define Black joy? I define it as thinking of yourself in a way that is prideful. Not just thinking about yourself, but thinking about yourself and your history and your heritage and your people and your ancestors with a sense of pride and acknowledgement of what they've gone through and how what they've gone through has aided what you are currently experiencing. More so in my work, think of it as joy, something that has always existed amongst African American people from when we were in Africa, specifically West Africa, to being brought here. I think there has always been joy within our people, and that the things that we do today as African Americans has always been embedded in that. And I think that recognizing that and naming that is really healing. Because I think that most of us only learn Black history in terms of like we were slaves, but within those hardships, there was always an immense amount of joy, and I think naming that is very important. All right, my name is Chris Sanders, Chris Z. Sanders. I'm trying to bringing that in my name. I use they, them pronouns. I'm from the South Side of Chicago, and I am an American Studies and Educational Studies double major. Bringing joy into the conversation in a K-12 education means it requires a lot of sifting. When I taught my Black Joy and Resilience class at Breakthrough Minneapolis, I was kind of looking around what narratives can I get specifically from enslaved individuals, and I found the Work Projects Administration did like interviews with enslaved or formerly enslaved individuals from the South during the Reconstruction era. I picked out stories where they talked about marriage and they talked about the festivities they did on their day-to-day basis that did not coincide with what they were forced to do as labor. Essentially seeing their humanity, seeing them as people, seeing them as folks with real stories, real lives, real narratives, and not just people that were laborized for capital. Not just seeing them as slaves, but seeing them as enslaved people that did things other than just being enslaved. And a lot of that was joy between having traditions of like jumping the broom or building a food repertoire or having like little parties and things after events or building cultural, religious traditions, things like that. All of those consisted of joy. When I first taught this course, maybe 2 years ago, I had a Black student in the class. She was mixed. Her father was white and her mother was Black. Because of that, she didn't really identify as Black. She was having a lot of troubles in the course with just like feeling connected, getting into kind of little bits of trouble outside of like the academic space in the program. And I remember, because we have like teacher conferences in the midpoint of the program, I remember meeting her father and her grandmother. Since she's taken this class, she's identified as Black. For the first time, her grandmother heard her say "our people" when referring to Black people, which let her grandmother know that like she started identifying with the Black community, which her grandmother thought was really powerful because they've been really struggling to get her to see that connection. And that was really transformative for me. Because the whole point and the whole creation of it was to kind of eliminate the narrative that like I am not my ancestors, that a lot of people in our generation have kind of expounded. And so it was really important to me that a young girl in like 7th, 8th grade was like, no, I am Black. And this is what my history is, and this is what my people have done, and I'm proud of that. I know that students have a very limited understanding of Black history. But that does not mean that they know the impact or the significance of these individual civil rights events. I want students to know how can that relate to joy and resilience, because it's not just about Black people, it's about everyone. Every group of people has practiced joy and resilience in their lifetime. And so understanding that really helps us build a better and a broader understanding of people in general and how the American education system has made it where those people have been silenced. So it's always just about bringing to light people, their stories, their narratives, their history in a way that's very to the heart of the people that are doing the work and doing the lessons. I think, honestly, the only reason I'm here today, literally, is ancestral work. Everything that I do in my life is for me and my ancestors. And while I know that that is not the spiritual experiences of a lot of people, it is mine. And it really helps me move through the day to know that I'm doing something that so many people have tried to do before me and either couldn't implement it because of the times that they were living in or didn't have the resources to implement it. I feel like Macalester has given me a lot of resources to be able to tell stories. I've been able to write children's stories about Black Minnesotans that are important, and they're being read to third graders and first graders and preschoolers to know about people like Frederick McKinley Jones and Nellie Stowe Johnson. Just like bringing these stories of these hidden people to light for other people to learn about in a very knowledgeable, accessible, digestible way is very important to me. And so I think that it plays in every single facet of our life. People are in every facet of our life. That's the only way anything in this world has gotten done, by people. And so I just try to embody that every day.
Beautiful. That was amazing. Do you have any other questions? Anything else? That was fantastic.
No, I think I'm good.
Oh, thank you so much.
Of
oh my
course.
goodness. I think you can stop if you want.